So today is going to be me talking about my death whistles I've been making and practicing with. Later on, I'm actually going to be sending out a couple of links with my post about my death whistles. Now, this is the first time I've worked with clay in about 15 years, so it was a little interesting to play with clay. So a little bit of history. The Mayans and the Aztec actually used these death whistles. They don't know exactly what they were for. They can only guess. They believe they were actually blown during rituals to actually help summon the spirit away into the afterlife. And another one was they would have anywhere from 20 to 100 of these blowing at the same time, going right into warfare to act as psychological warfare for against the enemy. Which mine don't sound anything like the other ones, so they're pretty close, which is the first time I've actually played with clay. And then I've actually ran out of clay, so I actually have to get more. But I was actually using a variation of clay which is called Sculpey. It's original clay bake clay. I just mold it and then I can just bake it in the oven for 20 minutes or whatnot. So here's my first one. This one looks bad, but it actually is the best sounding one of all. So that's my first one. Actually sounds really good. The next three I've actually painted them and actually have added a gloss to them. So if you can see, that's my little paint job and glossing job. I still have to do a couple finishing touch-ups with them and whatnot. Kind of reminds me of the Misfits skeleton for Glenn Danzig. So my painting skills aren't that good at all. This is the second one. We can hear what it sounds like. That's the second one. This is the third one. A lot of them, they all look mostly alike. My painting and carving skills aren't that good yet. But this one. So that's my third one. This is my fourth one. It actually kind of broke on the corner. I don't know how it actually did it during the baking process. I guess it was too thin or whatnot to actually to go through it, I guess. I'm not 100% sure. This one doesn't sound as good as the other ones. Fourth one, or fifth one, sorry, is actually, I didn't even get to do a paint job on it. It just kind of deflated itself. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I didn't even finish painting it. So, but it's practice. I might actually just go out and sling it or something. I'm not 100% sure. Definitely not as loud as the other ones. The other ones are a lot better. So those are my current death whistles. So some of them sound better than others. I've actually have tried a couple of things. I've made little mortar and pestles to actually kind of make my own little bowl shapes or whatnot. Now the thing is about these whistles is they're called whistles, but they're actually not whistles. They're actually called resonators, where, as you can tell, the little bowl right here, the little pipe goes right into it at about a 30-degree angle into a bigger hole, and pretty much the air will go into the bowl and circulate right back out of the bowl at the same time as you're blowing air into it. So, and that's what causes the vibrate. I guess this when I made this one, it was actually a little bit too thick. So, because The other ones are actually about a 1/4 inch thick, maybe a little bit thinner than that. I've actually reached out to a Wei Chi. He has a couple of YouTube videos. He's actually a musician that lives in Germany who actually makes death whistles and sells them. So we're back and forth, and he kind of like coached me into how to make these and everything else like that, because I was having a lot of issues. And then there's also a Mr. Roberto Valaquez. I probably mispronounced the name, but he's actually an engineer from Mexico who for the last 20-25 years has actually been almost like an amateur archaeologist as a hobby, and he's actually pretty much dedicated his life to studying these whistles and whatnot. And he actually sent me, we were back and forth a couple of times in emails, and he sent me a bunch of information to actually help, and I'm going to post them into the post. So hopefully you enjoyed it. As you can tell, this is my first video. I don't know why, but I have great public speaking skills, but for some reason with the camera rolling I get nervous. So thank you.